Hi. Let's learn about the Lifetime Learning Credit, LLC. The Lifetime Learning Credit is a provision of the U.S. Federal Income Tax Code that allows parents and students to reduce their tax liability by up to $2,000 to help offset higher education expenses. However, it is non-refundable, meaning it can only be used to pay taxes owed and does not provide a refund. This credit can be claimed year after year without limitation, but it cannot be combined with the American Opportunity Tax Credit in the same tax year. The LLC can be claimed when a student is enrolled in undergraduate, graduate, or professional degree courses, as well as specific career-related skills courses. To be eligible for the credit, the student must be enrolled at an IRS-eligible educational institution, taking higher education courses towards a degree or recognized educational credential, and enrolled for at least one academic period that began within the tax year they're claiming the credit. In order to claim the full credit, a taxpayer's modified adjusted gross income for the tax year 2022 must be $80,000 or less if filing as an individual, and $160,000 or less for joint filers. The credit is phased out for taxpayers with MAGI exceeding these amounts and cannot be claimed by those with MAGI over $90,000 or $180,000 for joint filers. To claim the LLC, the law requires a taxpayer or their dependent to get Form 1098-T, tuition statement, from an eligible educational institution. This form helps determine the amount of credit that can be claimed. If eligible, the taxpayer must complete Form 8863 and attach it to their Form 1040 or Form 1040-SR when filing taxes. The U.S. government subsidizes higher education expenses through tax credits, deductions, and savings plans, including the American Opportunity Tax Credit, tuition and fees deduction, and 529 savings plans. Each of these programs lowers income tax liability for students or their parents, providing financial relief for educational expenses. The LLC is worth up to $2,000 or 20% of the first $10,000 of qualified education expenses each tax year, depending on the taxpayer's MAGI. There is no limit to the number of times the LLC can be claimed during a taxpayer's lifetime, as long as they meet the eligibility requirements each tax year. Yes, parents can claim the lifetime learning credit on behalf of a dependent child, but it can only be claimed once per tax return, regardless of the number of children in the family. Tax credits, deductions, and savings plans provided by the U.S. government are useful tools to help offset the costs of higher education. If eligible, it is worthwhile for taxpayers to take advantage of these subsidies to help afford undergraduate, graduate, and professional degree courses, as well as programs that improve job skills. Here are 4 key takeaways. 1. The Lifetime Learning Credit helps offset higher education expenses for eligible students up to $2,000 per tax return. 2. It can be used for undergraduate, graduate, and professional degree courses, and there is no limitation on the number of years it can be claimed. 3. Taxpayers with a MAGI over $90,000, or $180,000 for joint filers, cannot claim the credit. 4. The American Opportunity Credit is specific to undergraduate education expenses and has different eligibility requirements from the Lifetime Learning Credit. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.